Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought that we would have a look at a beautiful stamp set called Floral Frames. And we are going to be just using this one stamp set, 2 ink pads, which is Mossy Meadow and Flirty Flamingo, 1 block, which is a large block and it's an E block, and an Aquapainter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and we can create a beautiful stamp. And then I will show you how to step it up a couple of levels to create something else, building on from what we're going to do with this lovely floral frames. So let's get started. We will need some cardstock, and for this one I'm going to use Whisper White. So we need a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is going to measure 5¼ inches by 3½ inches. Now for our my international subscribers who watch, I know that your card sizes are slightly different. So when you take a sheet of, in the UK it's A4, fold it in half and cut it down, you can get 2 card bases out of 1 piece of cardstock. You need to do your mats and layers to match those. So I'm not going to sort of tell you about those pieces. Now, we need to take our E block, and we are going to mount this lovely big flower onto our block. Now, this is the way it lines up. And so if you have a look at it, you can see you've got 3 flowers at the top and you've got 2 flowers at the bottom. So if we stick it on the block in that direction, like this, press it down firmly. And then when we pick it up, we are just going to rotate it slightly. So this is going to be in the top side. You can see that this side is bigger than that side. So we're going to take the Mossy Meadow and we're going to ink up the whole of this stamp. Closing the lid so I don't get ink everywhere. And then we are going to the grid paper. If you invest in some grid paper, will help you line things up nice and straight. And we need to take this into the center of the card. And we're just going to press it down firmly. Now, if you leave it for a few seconds, the ink will absorb into the paper. So particularly if you're using a large image stamp like this, leave it just for a few seconds. And then when you pick it up, you will see that the whole of the image has been put across absolutely beautifully. So let me just clean this off. Like this, and I'm using the Simply Chamois for this, but you can use any, you can use the scrub or anything else that you want to. And then we are going to put a sentiment in. Now, I thought that this would be absolutely lovely for a birthday card, for a card to just say that you're thinking of somebody. And we are just going to use the sentiment on this one, which says sending love. You've got wishing you the best, which again will do for a birthday or an anniversary. But sending love, I think, is perfect. Now we're going to use exactly the same block, and we are just going to line this up. So we're going to just put it onto our grid paper or something straight. And we're going to line that up and just have a look at the top and the bottom. So we've got this as straight as we can get it. And again, we're going to be using the Mossy Meadow. So just ink that up a little bit on there. And then getting this stamped image again, we're just going to, in the center, line it up, press down, and press up, and we've got sending love in the center, which I think is absolutely lovely. I send love to lots of people. I send love to family. I send love to friends. I send love to people that are just having a little bit of a tough time. It's a sentiment that works for virtually everything. So now we are going to take the Flirty Flamingo, after I put this little one back in here. And we are going to... now, this is one of our older style pads, so you can actually squeeze the top of it. You can do this with the new ones as well. And you will have a little bit of colour in the well at the bottom. So we are going to take our Aquapainter and just make sure that the point is nice and pointy. And we're just going to pick up a little bit of colour with the Aquapainter. And very simply, we are going to colour in the flowers. Now, you will notice that Flirty Flamingo is quite a strong colour. And when you add this, because the Aquapainter is adding water, you will find that you have... it will give sort of a muted, almost like those wild briar roses. So it will blend in just a little bit with the Mossy Meadow that we've already got. But it actually adds and makes a beautiful tone. So we're just going to take this round. I am doing this quite quickly. You can spend a little bit more time. As I always say, I rush things through on the camera so it doesn't take too much time for you. But you can see the Aquapainter just pick up a little bit of ink in between as you go. And then take the next colour and do exactly the same and just pick up a little bit of colour and work your way. You can see that I turn the paper as I go, because I find it easier to stay within the lines. If I turn the paper and just literally, you can see I'm stroking it across the top, working my way through, and as I say, it means that I don't, I can work it on the hand that I'm working without getting my hand through on what I'm doing. If I'm doing here, it doesn't make a nice easy circle. So I want to just bring it up and just circle it down, colour in these bits, take this one up on here. But you can see it is a nice and easy way to get the most beautiful colour on these lovely little flowers. And depending on what colour you use, as I say, I've just used the Flirty Flamingo. You could use any colour that you wanted to. And as I say, for our crafters that have got quite a few colours, you can use and blend through the colours. But if you're just starting out and you haven't got a lot, then you can do this, as I say, with just 2 ink pads. Now I'm just adding just a little bit of colour to these little flowers down here, and I'm just doing just a little dot. So just to add just a little bit of colour in on here. Again, turning my paper so I can see exactly where I'm going. And as I say, it is just because it's watercoloured, you don't need to do anything too fancy, just a quick little blob on the end of each one to just give a little bit of colour. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with the Flirty Flamingo. And to clean your brush, literally, I've got a very old rag, as you can see, just literally wipe it across until the colour comes clear. And then we are going to take the Mossy Meadow, and again we're going to take just a little bit of the colour that's in the well, making sure that we've got a point on our Aquapainter, picking up a little bit of colour, and this is where you can get some variations. So if we start on this one here, this is coming out, because it's Mossy Meadow, it's coming out quite dark. So when we take it to the next leaf, it will be a little paler. When we take it to the next leaf, it will be paler still. Now, if we take these little leaves, we can have these ones quite pale. So I haven't picked up any more colour. I am literally just using the same amount of ink and just getting different colour tones. So let's have this one as a really lovely pale one, and this one as a pale one too, and this last one will be nice and pale. So you can see you've got quite a colour variation between the two. So let's pick up a little bit of colour and do exactly the same on the bottom. So the first one is going to be darker. The next one is going to be a little bit paler. These little ones here are going to be the palest. And just literally colouring it through. This is going to be another pale one. And I think I'll have those two darker. So picking up a little bit more to just get that one a little bit darker. And a little bit more on here to have that one nice and dark again. Okay, so you now have a lovely simple card just using the Mossy Meadow and the Flirty Flamingo, and you can then mount it on whatever you would like. Now I've taken a piece of mint macaron. You could use old olive, you could use any shade of green that you've got. You could put it just on white, but if you see just on the mint macaron, it just brings those colours together and gives it still quite a soft feel. Okay, so now we are going to just step it up a little bit more. And I've prepared a lot of this beforehand. We have two beautiful flowers here at the bottom. So we can still use exactly the same block here. And we need to take another, just a little bit of scrap paper. So let me see what I've got here. There's a little piece of scrap. So if I move that one just out of the way, we're going to take these two flowers. So these two flowers, we can put them both onto the E block. So we are only using the one block, and we're going to use the Mossy Meadow, and we're going to ink these up. And then we are going to stamp these down onto the scrap like this. So you get 2 for 1. And then we are going to colour them in exactly the same way as we coloured the first one. And we are going to use our paper snips, and we're just going to cut them out. Now, fussy cutting, as they call it, is you can do it as accurately as you want, or you can leave quite a big border. Because this is quite a nice flower and they're joined, you literally just have to cut round there. So it doesn't take a huge amount of time and it's not over complicated. So cut those out. We can then take the lovely, there's another sentiment in here, or there's another border, and this gives a nice frame with the leaves. So again, cut that out. Let me show you the one that I've done beforehand. So cut that out with your scissors and use exactly the same, the Mossy Meadow and the Flirty Flamingo, just in the centre of those. So let me show you one. I have done the colouring on that beforehand, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. And so let me just do it on this one. So this is the nice and simple card that you can do fairly easily. Then if we cut out, we've got this this lovely sentiment in here. And let me take the border out for a second. We are going to put this one in on the centre here. And we are going to use some dimensionals for this. So this is just going to pop it up a little bit. So let me just take a couple of dimensionals and put them on the back. Like this. And again, all of these have been cut out just using our paper snips or any good pair of scissors that you might have. So we are going to, again, I line things up with the grid paper because it helps me to make sure that I get the wording and everything straight. And we're just going to put this in the centre on the dimensional, just sticking up a little bit. Okay, now we have the flowers. Now what I've done is I've cut and coloured those. Again, I've just cut them out with scissors, and we are going to take those with dimensionals, and I'm going to use our mini dimensionals for these. Says me, let's having a look in my little pot. Here we go. Because the minis are absolutely perfect for the smaller spaces and the smaller images rather. So we'll just put a couple of those on here, and then this one, we take the dimensional out. So this one we are going to put on the top of this one here. So let's line it up where it is, and we can put it straight over the top like this. Put that one on. And then we've got this, which is the lovely little 2 for the bottom, and let's just put those up with dimensionals as well, like this. And then we can put this one just over the top, and you can see that this little leaf, the you can see where the label has actually just gone over it. Well, because we can use it with the dimensional, we can just take that so that comes in over the top like that on there. So we've got that one over the top and that one on the bottom, so we've now got some lovely dimension on it. So if we then put this into onto the background, and as I say, this one is done with the mint macaron I chose for this one. You could do it with any other combination that you want. I wanted it to be nice, sort of pale and pastel-y. And then just as a finishing touch, I am going to, let me see if I've got these in here. Oh yes, they're out on here. We have got the metallic pearls. Now the metallic pearls are absolutely beautiful because rather than putting a ordinary pearl on there, the metallic ones, we have them in silver and in gold, and I absolutely love the gold ones. Now if you've got the take your pick tool, you can use the take your pick tool to pick up the little pearls, and we've got 2 sides. So I used the pokey side last time. This time I'm going to use the spatula. And you can see my spatula needs a bit of a clean. I've been using it for lifting up bits and pieces. So we've got a little bit of glue on there, which isn't very good. But with this, you can literally just go underneath the pearl and pick it up very carefully. And we are just going to put a pearl in the centre of each one of these little flowers. Make sure that I've got that lined up on there. Just need it just on the other side, just a little bit. There we go. So let's put that in the centre of that one. And I think that the metallic pearls almost give the sort of the yellow centre of the flower, so it makes it look really pretty. And then we'll put a couple on this side, like this. And then you can mount it on whatever card base you want. But there we have a beautiful card, which has now just been stepped up from the very simple first single layer card that we did. We can now do it with a bit of dimension. And again, we are just using one stamp set, the floral frames, and just the images here with our scissors to just cut out a little piece of this. So a lovely card using minimal supplies and giving you a beautiful card to send to anybody for birthdays, anniversaries, whatever you want, just sending love. So thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.